Today's date is August 17, 2024. We're here at the Catholic Center in Evansville, Indiana. And we have a guest here named Paul Strobel and his daughter, Sue Ann Strobel Sanders.
Hello.
Where did she go? There she is. And Sue Ann brought her dad today, and she's also going to take him on the honor flight.
Yes.
And Paul and Sue Ann are from Tell City. Tell City is a famous city around. It's called Tell City Marksman. It's close to Troy, and Troy is in that area by Anderson Creek, a place where Lincoln spent a lot of time. He went from Gentryville down to Tell City and talked to people. And he left on his boat, flatboat, down to New Orleans and learned about slaves way back in the early 1800s. Lincoln grew up and was in Gentryville, not very far, but he'd come down to the river and learn a lot of things. Tell City's known for Tell City Chair. Paul worked there for a while. Lots of people bought chairs from there. We had a lot of forest and a lot of chair factories in Evansville, but a lot in Tell City. And Tell City's famous for their chairs. There's a dam right north there that they made about 1969 in a little town called
Cannleton.
Cannleton had a big population from 67 or 68 to about 72 because everybody was there making that dam. So you saw a lot of people there. The Friedlanders owned a beer store up there, and they then worked with A&H truck lines in Evansville, but they were from up there in that little area of Cannleton. Cannleton had eight football players on their team because they didn't have a big enough school to have 11. So they had 8 on the squad. Now, Paul, I'm going to want you to say your birthday.
My birthday is 9/3/40.
9/3/40. So he's a Virgo, 9/3/40, and so he's a perfectionist. So he born in Tell City, and then he went to Tell City grade school and then high school. Tell us what grade school and high school you went to.
St. Paul's grade school.
St. Paul's.
And then Tell City.
Then Tell City.
High school.
Yeah. And then you got out of high school, did you up into the Air Force right at that time? And when did you graduate from high school? About 58?
I joined the Air Force when he was ordered for it.
When he joined the Air Force?
He graduated in May of 58 and left in November of 58.
And left in November.
Yes.
So he had about 4 months, and then he upped.
Right.
And where did you sign up? At Tell City or Louisville? Tell City, you signed up. And Air Force is hard to get into, and then you were 7 years in Air Force. Tell you where you went to boot camp. What city did you go to boot camp in?
Lackland Air Force Base.
Ratcliffe Air Force Base in Texas? Lackland in Texas.
Yeah.
And then, after that, where did they station you?
Shepherd Air Force.
Shepherd, that's a big one in Texas, is it not?
That's a big one.
Great big one. What did they teach you then? What did you learn? What type of trade there? What did you do in the Air Force?
Started out as a mechanic.
Mechanic, and then?
Then he worked his way up to missiles. And then he did bombs. And he did some college education through the service, and he was recruited. You were recruited by the CIA, weren't you? And you didn't do it because if he had went, they dropped him off in a white T-shirt, Levi's jeans, and shoes, and then you were on your own.
Yeah.
So he decided he didn't want to do that.
Pretty smart judgment. No CIA for you.
Yeah.
Your family, this daughter might have been born somewhere else. She would have been born in Tell City, but you said no to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Paul didn't go to the CIA, and to Sue Ann's benefit, to his wife's benefit. So
No, I'm daughter.
your daughter, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
married, or you born somewhere in Tell City.
Yeah.
Now, where'd you get married at? What church?
in Tell City, Indiana.
Yeah.
St. Paul Church,
St. Paul.
where he went to grade school.
St. Paul is in Troy, isn't it?
Tell
No, that's
City.
St. Pius is in.
St. Pius is in, yeah,
So you
St.
had-
Paul and Tell City.
And did you know Marion Salmon, the Salmon brothers?
Yeah.
Or because one of them was in the Bataan Mach, taught at school, it's called Major, and Marion worked at GE forever.
Right, he'd be two, what's it? Same name.
Yeah.
Same name, same last name, but different.
Different.
You knew a lot of the Salmons.
Right.
Probably in school you went up, grew up with some.
There was a school nurse that was related to them.
Uh-huh.
And she graduated with my dad,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, then tell us where you went in the Air Force. You took care of bombs and took care of missiles, took care of everything. My God, top secret everything. What, did you go up to North Dakota and put some of those silos in, or where did you work in your time?
They go everywhere.
He went to 39 countries,
Okay, 39 countries.
39 different countries.
That's not very many. My God, you should have been more than 39. I don't think it was about 100 countries. You went to half of them,
I
didn't
didn't
you?
bring the list with me.
39, my God, weren't you tired? So over 7 years, and so he was helping with bombing and helping with missile tests and things, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What's your most memorable thing about the Air Force, Paul?
It's so nice to learn so much
Yeah.
all the time.
He said he learned so much all the time. Everything was a learning experience. U.S. government's got a lot of things to learn if people take advantage of it. Then what'd you do for a career in Tell City after you got out of the Air Force? Where'd you work?
He started out as an engineer at Tell City Chair, and then he became self-employed. He started his own insurance agency, and he was a real estate
Called Strobel Real Estate and Insurance.
Strobel Insurance in Southern Indiana Realty.
Yeah.
So
Very successful there. Yeah.
did very well.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we really appreciate your time here, Paul, and you're going to have a great time on this trip.
Right.
I've been on it before, and this young gentleman to my right is going to go on it too. But appreciate your service in the Air Force, and you must have a good mind because they had you in charge of a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you showed that by starting your own company. Tell City Chair, my mother bought 125 chairs in 1954, and she still has them. She bought them for $12.50. They're probably worth $200 each, and they're holding up. So you made good product. Your engineering mind and the Finns own that for years, and it's not open anymore.
His mom was the Finn's.
His mom was a Finn.
No, his mom was the Finn's nanny.
Was the Finn's nanny?
Before she married my grandpa.
Doug Finn. So Doug Finn and was one.
No, his dad.
His daddy. They had the same voice. Doug Finn's daddy. She was the nanny to that. Your mama.
Yeah.
Well, this is a great thing. Talk about Tell City. Talk about the Air Force. And you have a great time. Thank you for your time, and we're going to mail this to you. And you come visit our museum sometime. Bring some grandkids, some of your daughter's kids, and sit around there, and you can tell a lot of things.
Yeah.
We're open 5 days a week, and we got a big event on. Hold me that thing. It's called the Warbirds. We have B-25 coming in, a B-25 coming in, and also a Mitchell bomber and a Grumman TBM Avenger. You can ride on it, but they're coming for 2 days, the last weekend of September. But you can also go around the museum, and they would learn a ton from him talking. You know, so it'd be very worthwhile. The grandparents teach more than the parents do about things.
Okay,
But-
I took pictures.
Yeah, you took pictures. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions for us, there, Paul?
Not really.
Thank you for your service, and you have a great time on this trip.
Okay.
Thank you.
What was alcohol?
Right here, just right there. So.
Okay, so one of the reasons why we want to do this is my grandfather, Henry Strobel, was a representative for the state of Indiana at the original burial of the unknown soldier. So,
That's 1921 when that occurred.
yes, it was 1921.
In November.
Yes.
President Harding preceded over
Right.
that. And we've had a ritual of the unknown soldier at our museum the last 4 years. And Zach Gable is from the west side of Evansville, and he was an officer there at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier for 2 years, and he gave us a talk.
Yes.
But your grandpa was
Was one of the 3 representatives for the state of Indiana.
wow, that's just something.
Yeah.
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, over half of our soldiers in the world wars have been mostly unknown, mostly because of the Civil War.
Right.
And they are a tribute there. There's 3 graves there in Washington, D.C. One is from World War I, one's from the Korean War, and the ones from World War II. We did have one from Vietnam, but we took him back out because we had his DNA.
Right.
So there's 3 soldiers there, and so was a state representative
For World War I.
of World War I. So
Yes.
that was in 1921, presided by many politicians there.
Yes.
It was a ritual of about 80,000 attended. The body was brought down in the ship down by Virginia, brought up to D.C., sat in the rotunda for a day, and then they moved it over to Arlington. Your grandpa was part of that. What's his name?
Henry Strobel, Henry A. Strobel.
Yeah, okay.
And he was raised in St. Minard, and he spoke German in the household. His parents were immigrants, and he and his commanding officer, and there was a total of 8 of them, during the, when they were in the tunnels, they yelled, he yelled in German for them to surrender, and they thought he was their commanding officer, and those 8 guys captured 242 Germans.
What a story.
Yeah,
That was Henry Strobel.
Henry Strobel,
Yeah.
yeah.
Excellent talk.
So-
Excellent. Thank
Yeah.
you for that information.
Yes.
Because we've got a World War I exhibit. I think you'd like it.
That's what we
got a
wanna
World
see.
War I, and we've got a Holocaust exhibit opening up soon.